Hello, my name is Alvin, and I love making videos about people who are super dedicated to making a single food. One particular thing I've always been fascinated about is ice. More specifically, the mesmerizing beauty of ice sculptures. Even though ice sculpting isn't the same as cooking, I found myself asking the same questions. How is something so ordinary transformed into something so incredibly beautiful? Why put so much effort into something that ultimately disappears? And so I set out to hear the story of Shintaro Okamoto and why his labor of love is ice.
Ice is my living. It's cold, it's wet, it's slippery, it's heavy, it's dangerous. It's a humbling material to work with. My father, one boring winter took, me and my younger brother to a frozen lake, and my father taught me carving a block of ice into a swan and into an eagle and dolphins, and I was hooked. So right now we're working on a series of large ice installations for the Lunar New Year event we're doing at Brookfield Place. And they're all pretty large installation, probably 8 to 15 blocks of ice, 2,400, to 4,000 pounds of ice. And we all know that we can hurt ourselves at any moment. What makes it special about our ice that we use is that it's crystal clear ice. It's made through an industry standard machine. It takes about 3 days to make. Each block is about 300 pounds. We have to kind of physically wrestle these blocks. Carving ice is absolutely dangerous. I mean, I've smashed toes, I've smashed fingers. I think whenever you're working with natural materials, it's humbling. It's what it is. The stack that takes to, prepare the carving, I would say is mentally, physically, almost half the job. So we have different tricks where we have household irons that's literally warming different size plates of aluminum. And we use that to physically iron the surface of ice. And then we will kind of make a little space to splash ice cold water, which then becomes the glue to fuse the two ice together. Carving ice, the principles are pretty much the basic principles of reductive carving. It's really taking away what we don't need. And then the first tool we pick up is the electric chainsaw. You have to have a relationship with the tool, and it's all about the tool being an extension of your body. The cuts that we can make with ice is extremely fast, and that's very satisfying. It's amazing how much finesse you can get out of a chainsaw. You're really drawing with your whole body. You have to use your knees to go up and down and be flexible enough to catch all the curvatures. It's really like a part of a dance that you do onto the ice. It starts from a block, and there's a certain point in the process where everything just looks really broken up. But then there's a very beautiful point where it comes alive. As a sculptor, that's what you have in mind at all times. It's the point where all different points line up. The contour points and the volume points and the kind of the curvature points. When they all come together, you give a soul to what you're making. Where fish becomes a fish. The end result of ice sculpture is so much about the kind of beauty and finesse and fragility and ephemeralness and all that. But the process itself is very, very brute and it's very physical. Once you start carving, it's a commitment. It's a melting material as we're carving it. Time is already ticking. It's really kind of a go, go, go mentality that goes in there. And when we're carving big sculptures where the artists that I get to work with are tag teaming together to carve a dragon, you have to have a conviction that we're gonna finish this thing. It's exhausting. You change one channel in your mind and it's really defeating too. That you don't want to do this thing. You're exhausted, you're tired, your body hurts already. So you need to be super motivated to finish this giant blocks of ice that's in front of you. Ben Grasso, and he's a really accomplished painter, and then he will get a whole shape in the least amount of actions. And artist, Thomas Brown, he's a real connoisseur for details. It's a real treat to watch them carve together and see it come alive.
That last drop, just be careful, okay?
Event day rolls in, it's a game day. In any moment where we have to move ice, there's really no margin of error. We really can't break them. Moving ice takes a lot of care and understanding. So each piece we have to look at and say, where's the sharp area? Where is the important part that we can't fix? What's the plan B when we do break to where we have to go to? It's all about putting it back together. I mean, of all the years that we've been doing this, we've had the good fortune to not have something disastrous so far. We haven't had it because we all stress out about not having that happen. It just would suck if we break, So let's not break it. We'll take a chunk of dry ice with us oftentimes where we know there are some very fragile pieces that we're taking, freeze something together in a really delicate ways. I see ice as more of a performance art piece, Carving is a very small part of the actual experience of ice. I think the true beauty and true colors come out once it's set. And then we walk away. It's a big, long process, till the very end of completing the sculpture. And I think I really just let myself breathe only after the entire installation is done. Whenever I see people really enjoying their time with our sculptures, it's nice because it's hard to make a living as an artist. And there are a lot of parts where we can feel jaded. But at the end, whenever I see people having fun with our sculptures and smiling, enjoying, and asking even the most, simplest, most frequent questions, I love enjoying them because it reminds me that what we do is really special. And oftentimes people will be like, why would you give so much details to something that melts away and goes away? And it's really that first impressions that we really give to the sculpture that really wows people. And once it's gone, that's it, At the end, it's about the memory of what it was. I mean, I've been sculpting ice probably, 25 plus years. It's so much bigger than just being ice. My father brought the family to America and, didn't speak a word of English. But he had this sparkle in his eyes that I think that really kind of was a really strong aura. Father passed away in 2012. But he taught everybody here. All the guys that carve here today, they all learn from Dad, and almost every day we talk about something that he taught us, or a story about him, and smile and look forward to the next day. That's all we can ask for.